Alright everybody, welcome to the debut video on the new channel. Jake Noob here. We're going to be talking about a couple things, obviously the premise of this channel and the new consoles. Date of recording obviously has revealed all the information that we know about the new generation of consoles, but before we get into that, I'm going to talk about the channel, the reason why I've launched it, and you know what's its purpose. The essential premise of this channel is it's going to be, as you see it here, it's going to be gameplay commentary. So I'm going to be talking about any topic that I feel like talking about, any specific, things that have happened recently, and try my best to present information as I know it and stuff like that. But it won't be like, it won't always be like factual stuff. It'll always be stuff like, oh, what's your opinion on this happening? Or what's this happening? What do you think about it? Just stuff like that, general chit chat. So if you're down for that, of course, hit the subscribe button and click the bell. I would appreciate that because I want to get this channel off the ground as quickly as possible. So, I've got content out there. Reason why I've always wanted to do this kind of channel, and I feel that it gives me an outlet for a lot of things, one of which being it helps me manage stress and anything else in between. So I pretty much feel like it's a good way for me to just get any emotional drain, so to speak, out of me. So it's like an outlet for stress or an outlet for anything that I'm anxious about or anything else like that. So yeah, I will try my best to keep it flowing as best as I can, but no promises. I'm not like the best at this. This is essentially like my first serious attempt at gameplay commentary. So with that out of the way, you get the idea of what this channel is all about. If you if you like the idea of that, be sure to subscribe. Anyway, we're going to move on from that. We're going to talk about the consoles. So, Xbox Series versus PlayStation 5. Now, disclaimer, before anybody starts going, oh, you're going to pick a side and then that makes you a fanboy. I have a PC, I have an Xbox One, I have a PlayStation 4, I have a Nintendo Switch. Those are my current generation consoles that I have, and I've played on a majority of them for a good enough amount of time. My favorite obviously is PC, hence Titanfall 2 on PC is the backdrop. I literally have fallen in love with this game again. So moving on from that, I feel watching both the Xbox release and the PlayStation reveal, Team Xbox won it this year, and I'll explain why. I feel that with PlayStation, they have the exclusive stuff on hold, right? They literally have all the cards when it comes to exclusivity and stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. But what's not cool is the fact that, they don't really bring anything new to the table that often, and when they do, it's kind of meh. Like, it doesn't appeal to me personally. Plus, I noticed on some titles as well, when they were talking about is available as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and then in very small text they had is available on PC too. So it's not exclusive at all. The fact that they say is exclusive is just them trying to flex at Xbox, saying like, hey, we've got games you don't have, huh? And it's stupid, if I'm going to be honest. Like, as a person who loves gaming, it doesn't matter what platform it's on, as long as I get to play it. If I don't get to play it, I ain't gonna play it, For example, with some news that happened with I believe with the Game Awards show, I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct me, but Medal of Honor is moving into the VR space. That stuff was originally on the PlayStation. A lot of people were loving the idea of it being on the PlayStation, and then all of a sudden they went, yeah, we're going VR. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm just like, that's silly. Because you're basically splitting up your community to just cater to a gimmick. It'd be like if there was a game out there that only worked with ray tracing on. It would basically mean only people with Nvidia cards can play their game on PC. It really defeats the point of releasing a title, if I'm going to be honest. But rest assured, there's probably somebody in the comments who's probably going to add a little bit of information, because I will be honest, I haven't read that much into it, because as soon as I heard that Melevon is going to be ours, I just switched off. You know, that's who I am. Like, if it's not interesting to me, doesn't you know, appeal to me, I'm just like meh, and I just don't acknowledge any information about it. So of course, if you've got any information, feel free to drop it in the comments, and you know, for next video maybe I'll like, I might retie back into a topic. Sorry, a little bit of brain lag there for you, because I will explain something as well. I don't script, I just pretty much just say how I feel and go from there, and it makes it more natural, if I'm honest. Otherwise, if I was reading from a script, you'd know. It'd be like, and the Xbox Series X has this many teraflops, it's great, it does the things, you know. No, that's not my style. But yeah, let's get back on track with the whole teraflops and all that jazz, right? To me, the hardware of the consoles doesn't matter, right? If it can play the video game that I want to play, that's all I care about. I don't care if it could do 4K 240 FPS better than my PC. I wouldn't care. As long as I could play it, that's all I care about. Which is a lot of what end users care about. If it functions and it allows you to play something, that's all that matters. So, in terms of the reason why Xbox Series has won in my books, is because of the fact that it has two versions. Now, I know the PlayStation 5 has two versions, but they're pretty much a similar spec, just minus a CD drive and a couple chip features. That's pretty much it, right? And with the Xbox Series S, you'll still be able to play like Series X releases, just not at the full capability of an Xbox Series X, which is, you know, it's perfectly fine. I don't really care about that. I don't want to run games at 4K. I don't have a 4K monitor, and I never will, because I don't see the point. In my humble opinion, 1080p, higher frame rate is much better for me. Plus, if games are getting more and more graphically upgraded to the point where we're not even going to be able to tell if it's photorealistic or not, if it can run at 1080p, high frame rate, and it still looks like amazing, I'm winning. You know, like, I have the card capability to run that, so that's for me at least. So the reasons why the Xbox Series S appeals to me the most is obviously the price is very good for an entry into the new generation. It means that anybody who has enough money to afford a mid to low tier graphics card can afford a new console, right? I'm not sure what the actual console will include with it, whether it can include like a controller and a headset like they did before, but I'm fairly certain like they will include one controller at least. With that said, there are a few extra goodies with the Xbox Series that aren't necessarily tied to the consoles themselves. It's more of the Xbox service. Game Pass Ultimate, if you aren't aware, has actually included EA Play, which is a huge win. It means that it gives people more access to more titles, meaning, you know, people who've always wanted to play Battlefield 5, for example, can actually play it through Game Pass because it's part of the EA Play subscription now. So you get the best of both, which is great. And I really hope that Uplay gets the idea with that as well, with their own subscription service. You know, if they added a combo subscription service where all of the games that you want to play on your console are included within the pass, that's pretty much GG. Nobody has to buy multiple copies of games anymore. You know, you get them rented out, so to speak, per month, and you have the choice of what games to pick. So to me, that appeals to me a lot, because it means that any game that I want to try out before I buy it, I don't have to pay full price for. I can play through the entire game without being limited to like a demo build. If I don't like it, I can just uninstall it and never touch it again. Whereas if I was to buy the game outright, I'd be like, oh great, well I can't get a refund for that now, it's been over 2 weeks. So to me, like, the Xbox Pass Ultimate is like one of the biggest flexes that Xbox has over PlayStation 5. Now, I don't know much about PlayStation Plus, because again, I don't use my PlayStation that often. I mostly play it for like single player games. and a little bit of Netflix here and there downstairs. But essentially, as I get my ass handed to me by Ronin, love it. Essentially, the Xbox Series S just has a lot more going for it based upon what I know. Now, obviously, take everything that you see online with a grain of salt. That could change at any point. For example, there could be a horrendous exploit with the Xbox where, you know, all of your information gets leaked to like somewhere that it shouldn't be leaked to, and then, you know, everybody's compromised. Not saying it will happen, but you never know on the internet these days. So, you know, like, I'm not strictly tying myself to one generational thing, but it just makes sense to me as a consumer that I get the most value from Xbox than I would from PlayStation 5. The only reason I would ever get a PlayStation 5 would probably be if I wanted to play an exclusive game. You know, if I wanted to play anything remotely tied to, you know, any of the PlayStation exclusives that come out. So essentially, that's all I'm going to briefly touch upon in terms of like what I feel. I would say if you are going to be investing in a console this year, look at what is best for you as a consumer. Those are my thoughts on it. Don't follow my opinion. At the end of the day, my opinion doesn't mean shit. But that's just how I feel. That's how I'm going to be investing my next generational income. I'm going to wait for the release, and then who knows, there might be like a huge drop in price for around like the season, you know, seasonal Christmas price, or even post Christmas. You know, it might knock down to just 200, which will be like a massive steal for a lot of people. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. I stream 3 days a week. And until the next video, ciao.